Hey there, has this ever happened to you? What?
Bro, I'm not using this shit. That son of a bitch!
Okay, probably not. But you'd like to fix it, right?
Yeah.
Well, you've come to the right place, because this is the ideal way to fix stick drift, the optimal method. This here is a Marvel Spider-Man PS4 controller, released back in November 7th of 2018, so the wear is starting to share, like scratches among the surface of the touchpad, a big scar-like scratch among the side of the D-pad, and this. But this doesn't have stick drift. Now you may be wondering, well, why am I going to replace it? And that's because of these Alps Alpine sticks. Old, outdated, and clunky. Not only that, but the aiming of these sticks is worse than trying to hit your New Year resolution goals with precision and consistency. It's never going to happen. What you want are these Polyshine FRJ10Ks, identifiable from its orange potentiometers and sleek steel black design. These are very accurate, highly precise and consistent, and what you want in your controllers right now. Now that you got the gist of what's the necessary discrepancy, I'll take you in game to show you just how bad these really are. Alright, so back in game, coming on to explain to you guys why you should get the favorite Union sticks, orange sticks, over the green sticks. If you have them in your controller already, or if you're replacing them, because the amount of inconsistencies on these sticks are night and day compared to the favorite Union sticks, from my experience, as they tend to overshoot and undershoot a lot, and the tracking is just, it feels very weird when you're trying to hit a moving target. Like, you'll think you'll, like, say someone is, like, especially in this game, say someone is moving like this, you know, side to side, which is the optimal amount of movement, right? Someone's doing this, you're going to be trying to hit them, right? You're going to predict they're going to, which way they're going to move again, right? You're going to try and do that, and then it'll just randomly overshoot all the way over to the left, if they're, like, right, like, if they're coming to the left. And that can really be bad, especially in a game like this, where one shot to the head can just get you killed immediately, right? And obviously you never want to sit still in this game. So even in games like Apex, right? Like, I've tried it, and it's just, it feels very weird in firing range as well. It's like, and that game has even more tracking than this. So I'd recommend getting those orange sticks over the Alp sticks. if you have the decision, if you don't have a choice and you have to get the ALP sticks, then some tips in my opinion would be to or in my experience would be to be more gentle and coarse when you're using these sticks and let it flow. Don't let it don't be so rough on the sticks, right? Just just be more slower when you're trying to aim. Yes, and that is a very bad thing, but it's the only way to, in my experience, to actually get kills or just snap to targets. Just trying to aim with these, it feels very wrong from someone who's been using the favorite Union sticks for so long. So I'm gonna replace these sticks, and I'll see you guys back at the table. I'll leave a link below on where to get these. Now, what you'll need is a soldering station or soldering iron, preferably one that is temp controlled. Some tip tinner and brass wool, some solder, preferably one that is more expensive and higher quality, solder sucker and or wick, flux, preferably Amtech, needle nose pliers that have a strong hold when pressed, isopropyl alcohol with a heavy bristled brush or a toothbrush, access to a device with Windows or Linux such as a PC or a Cherry Pie, and finally, this. May God leave a place in heaven for whoever made this stuff. Low melt solder. This is what makes this method so effective and easy for those who want to just replace their sticks with little to no experience with a hot air station. That is, if you follow every single thing I do. There are a few optional things to buy to help you along the way. I'll leave them on screen right now. All equipment will be linked in the description below. Now, taking apart the controller properly. First comes the 4 screws on the back. Second comes the clips. There are 4 clips in total. 2 down here, near the headphone jack, and 2 up here, near the shoulder buttons. Here is a tear down front and back shell for better understanding. These clips here, and here, and these locks here. To unlock these, it's best to have something like this, a prying tool, designed for this exact thing, as you can break the top clips very easily, which a lot of beginners tend to do with brute force. First, we'll pry the bottom ones open like this. And as far as the top ones go, heed my instructions. Get as close to them as possible with the prying tool and pull the back shell outwards while pulling the front shell apart like this. And voila! Okay, so a bit of a disclaimer as I'm watching this back post editing. I realized that I'd actually opened the clips the wrong way, which is odd because after opening the controller, the clips are still intact. So I either got lucky or the clips just outright came apart. But anyway, the correct way to open the clips are the opposite way I showed in the video. So instead of prying off the back shell and pulling the front shell apart, turn the controller over to the back side and pry the front shell outwards and pull the back shell out. Or what you can do is just pry up against the front shell, which usually tends to work. As I said, I don't know why this happened. I either misworded my script or mess up with recording. But I'd say it's kind of a good thing, as now you guys know what not to do in the worst case scenario. But anyway, back to the video. Now that it's apart, check the clips. If you break them, it's fine. It won't affect gameplay, but cosmetically, it won't be as tight. Take apart the micro USB cable. Remove the battery. Remove the screw that's holding the chassis. Remove the chassis. Have your soldering iron ready and remove the rumble motor connections. Now remember this, Word. Red up, red down. Take the touchpad ribbon cable out. Then pull these locks apart and pull the PCB out. Then the film chassis out. And now you can do your cleaning, custom buttons here. As for cleaning the back shell, take this adhesive foam out. Don't throw it away because you will need it. Locking mechanism out. Reflective shield out. Quite honestly, I don't know the name of this, but take it out. There will be a little bit of duct tape on the micro USB daughter board. Just take that out, and you will need it. Then the screw. And finally, the micro USB port out. Now, for the PCB, this will be an extended section without cuts for understanding every little detail that I do. So, let's begin. Ready? Alright, into the extended portion. I have my air purifier running in the background, so that could be a little bit loud, but I'm sure we can make do with it. Obviously, health is always the first priority. So obviously the tools you'll need are solder, flux. Now this also is another thing. This came with this. You guys can get this one over this, which you'll find on Amazon, because it's also better for people who just want to replace like just 2 sticks, because you also get a free, this works as flux, and it helps with the melting or the melding point of the low melt solder. So get this or this, unless you're doing multiple types of sticks on like multiple controllers, then obviously opt out for this and just get, you know, Amtech flux. I got this from Northridge. And speaking of Northridge, that solder sucker I showed you guys sucks a lot. So I ended up getting one of Northridge's new solder suckers. So this is probably just going to be like a review of this as well at this point, to see if it's actually any good, or if Alex is just bluffing. So we'll see. Now I am a hobbyist, so, you know, obviously he's obviously much better than I am at soldering. I've only soldered for like, what, probably like a year. But first thing you want to do, get the sticks apart. I'm not going to use these sticks. I have a new batch of sticks that are white. These have oil set in already. Like, using these just suck when you're playing. So I'm just gonna get these out. I have new sticks, white sticks as well. So, and as I showed, Alp sticks, these things suck when you're playing. Like, they really are bad. The feel of them, like, you can even hear it. Hold on, let me bring it to the mic. That right there is just a left stick alone. Like, that is not good. You do not want to have something like that. So obviously, we're gonna replace it. You can use I don't have something to put it on, like clamps. I usually use Kapton tape or Kapton tape. You can use Scotch tape, but I like to use Kapton tape because it has less adhesive. And you also want to be careful when you're putting Kapton tape or Scotch tape or electrical tape on the top. This right here, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, right here. This is the reset button. This is start and share. This is the touchpad. This is another thing that you also have to be careful about. It's not accidentally, when you're like, you know, putting it on the table, this doesn't come apart because the actual piece in here is very small and you can lose it very easily. I've lost a lot. I've actually ordered lots of replacements of these off of AliExpress, like 30 just in case. So yeah, let's get into the soldering. Obviously, get your solder. Now you can use a hot air station, but from my experience, using low melt solder, like low melt solder works perfect for lots of joints at once, as compared to hot air station, especially this, like joysticks, there's plastic underneath, and I've had a lot of experiences when I'm using the hot air. If you're not using the right temperature and not the right technique when you're going in and out of the, you know, of the area and the right nozzle, you will end up burning the plastic underneath and it'll stick, and you'll most likely have to either cut it out or like pry it out, and you do not want that. It's like, it becomes a huge mess. So that's why I usually use low melt solder. You can use a solder pot, but obviously the more cost effective way is using low melt solder, like undoubtedly, and especially for beginners with little to no experience with a solder pot, like, you know. So I'm trying to get this Kapton tape out. So what I usually do is I put 2 layers on top where the touchpad is, or the touchpad ribbon cable goes into. So let me get my... Now I have this cloth. I usually don't use this cloth. I usually just have the wood underneath, but it looks very bad because it has scars from all the soldering that I do. So, you know, that could be bad, but we'll see. I might take this off. I might do a quick cut and just take it off if it gets in the way while I'm trying to pry it open. Like right here, yeah, I might need to take this off. Yeah. Alright, so I got a little bit more focused in to where I need it. Now I've obviously taken off the cloth and whatnot. It's a quick cut. I said there was going to be no cuts, but, well, I lied. I'm sorry about that, but you know, you never know when you'll get technical difficulties in life. So just gotta adapt, you know, be resilient. So I'm trying to take off this Kapton tape, pretty much. And what I usually do is, for the PCB, I do this method. I usually do, obviously I said that I usually don't use the clamps. So I usually just use Kapton tape, around 3 layers, right here. So I usually have the sticks hanging off so I can just pry them out once I have a low melt solder on. Pretty sure that should be good. Let me just check the angle real quick. Yeah, that should be good. So just like that, I'm gonna go with another layer. I usually go with 3 layers, but today I'm feeling a bit careful. Let's do 4. I haven't done it in a while, so, you know. So let's try and find this. Now, if you are using Scotch tape or electrical tape, you do want to be careful because obviously these. So just do that. I usually just use Kapton tape, as I said, which is much better. Plus it also adds heat resistance. That's pretty bad. I'm gonna go with the big one, this one. Or this line. This might be too big, but let's see. And yeah, that should be good. See if we got a good angle. Yeah. Let's turn it a little bit. Okay. And yep. Now, get your soldering iron ready. We go with max heat. Obviously, when you're soldering, you want to go with more heat, less time, not less heat, more time. Let's tighten this up. Just gonna wait. Forgot to put on my. There we go. Now obviously, it's best to have something that sucks up all this heat. Let me bring this a little bit closer. There we go. So it's best to have something to absorb all this heat because you do not want to be breathing this in. But if you're not willing to afford a air purifier or a whatever you call this, I forgot. I guess it's called air purifier. I have another one in the back, but that one's more like slower, as it's more so like just for regular room air, not for soldering. So you know, if you don't want to get this, what you can do is just hold your breath. You do not want to be breathing this stuff in. This is like worse than like cigarettes. It's like cigarettes times 5, if anything. So got that already on. Now what I usually do for the first part is put on solder, just fresh solder. I'm not going to use my expensive solder first. This is for after. Obviously you want to use the cheap one if you have it, right? And I'm not going to be wasting expensive solder if I'm just going to use a solder sucker. So I'm just going to try Northridge's solder sucker out, see how it is. So I'm going to put it on fresh solder and whatnot. Flux obviously first. It's not even going to work. There we go. Get all those joints. For some reason, I can feel the joints coming out already. That's very weird. What the? Man, Alp sticks are very, very weird. Some joints just already came out. That's very weird. Okay. Now, obviously, low melt solder. Get your low melt solder ready. And we're going to use this. You know, actually, let's try out the solder sucker first. See how good it is. Wow. Whew. Wow, that's insane. Okay, yeah. This is good. This is worth every single dime. And I'm not selling out or anything, or like, I'm not sponsored or but this is really good. Like, it's fast, has so much suction. I'm gonna clean my tip a little bit. There we go. Much better than any sort of solder sucker I've used, by far. Okay, that's really good. I like that. Okay. Now we're going to use the low melt solder and watch the magic work. Now you do want to be careful. You do not want to put too much around the top areas, especially if you're doing this, because if it flows down onto these chips, I believe this is the IC chip, I don't know, but if it goes on there, you're kind of in a bad position, especially if you're a beginner. So try your best not to have any of these low melt solder balls go on over here. So you want to be careful, like with that. Now it most likely won't happen as long as you're careful and not putting too much solder on the top points, but now you just want to go over these points, and I have my needle nose pliers right here. Go over every single point. I'm gonna bring my thing a little bit more closer. And now, what you want to do with the needle nose pliers is clamp it on around the potentiometers. Let me bring one out for reference. Where are my ALP sticks? The spare ones. So you want to clamp it so it's this way, comes up from this way. You want to clamp it on the green potentiometer very hard, because you're not worrying about the potentiometer unless you're using it for spare parts, which you're most likely not. And even so, it wouldn't really, that would be kind of very stupid. Or really bad. But clamp it on tightly. Make sure you have something that can clamp it on very tightly. A lot of mistakes that I've seen online is they use tweezers and put it on this. Like, it's not gonna work, you know? You want something that's very tight, and don't just pull out the stick. Wiggle it. Once you start hearing those squeaking sounds, that's how you know you're getting the actual stick out. So like this. And there you go. Easy as that. So much more easier than using a hot air station. It is so easy. It is so easy to do this. There you go. Now, as for this, I'm not really going to use it. I can throw it in the trash, which I usually do, but I'll just keep it here just to show you guys for reference, maybe later. And as for this, where's my wick? Right here. Get your solder wick. I'm going to put a little bit more flux, just a little bit. and just suck it up. Oh, that's not good. That could have been dangerous. Very dangerous. Could have went in my eye. Won't kill me though. Now for this, I really like this solder sucker. I really actually do like it. It's very good. Like way better than any cheap one. So I'm gonna use this to finish it out. I'm sure it'll get all the solder that's stuck from underneath it. Let's see. Clean. Missed there, but clean. 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 Need I say more? Wow, that was so quick, and it's so good. Like when you use it, like usually with the other solder suckers, after a few like sucks from the solder or the solder sucker, it's like it starts to. You'll notice that it doesn't come up, and this one feels very like high quality. Like I would highly recommend getting this. This is very good. And that's that. Now, all you need to really do is get this cleaned up. I am going to replace this right stick. I'll do that off screen. But obviously, this is the, I believe, AIM. By the way, if you're ever soldering, always use this when you're doing the sticks, soldering sticks. AIM. AIM. Movement. AIM movement. AIM. AIM. Aiming movement. Always remember that. It's like RED. Red up, red down. Aiming movement. Always remember that. Now I'm going to get this cleaned, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I've got these both taken out, the ALP sticks off this PCB. Now I'm gonna install the favorite union sticks, or the polyshines. So what I usually do is, obviously you want to straighten these pins out, or the joints off the stick. Make sure there's not any ones that aren't straight. Just straighten them, make sure everything's tight. Now what I usually do before I actually install the stick is click it in the front, usually click it on the front and just click it around, just to make sure nothing is broken, because the clicks, which are these right here, usually tend to break sometimes. So you want to usually, like, you know, just click it and test it before you actually install it, because once you install it, it's going to be a hassle to just take it out again. So obviously I'm going to do this one. This one I already did off screen, and I'll install it off screen, as you guys only seen this one. So let's install it. This is the right way. This is the right way. Make sure you align it with the pins, or the joints with the joints. The joints with the holes. Make sure it clicks in place. Now you do want to put a lot of pressure in it. Make sure it's all the way in. Just check. It's not going in all the way, so I'm going to pull it out. Just got to adjust some of these accordingly. Now, let me just check. Maybe it's the hole itself. Aha. Now always suck up every single spot of low melt solder, because you'll have some issues if there is still some low melt solder on there. So just be careful. So low melt solder is likes to mix with regular solder, or tend to mix with regular solder a lot. There we go. You can actually see all the whole, make sure all the joints properly seated. There we go. And now I'm going to use my Kessler solder. And I'm actually excited to use this because I've actually never used Kessler solder. I've always used cheap solder, so this should be fun. Finally get to use it. So I'm going to get a bit right here. Get my thing off for some reason. Is this recording? Yes, it is. I'll wait until this heats up. And I forgot to put flux. Make sure you're not putting a lot, especially when you're putting it back on. Just put the bare minimum, because the flux can go through inside the holes and go into the potentiometers and whatnot. That can be very bad. So usually what I tend to do is put some solder on my soldering iron and just go over it while putting pressure down. Good joint. Joint. Too much on there. Good. I'm gonna suck this one up because there's way too much solder in here. Sorry about my Shit soldering skills. Suck right now. Oh my god. Let's get joined. Too much on that. Just a little bit. There we go. And there we go. Now what I am gonna do is I'll just put this on. I won't clean it yet. Obviously it will be kind of an issue, but I'm just gonna install this as well and then clean it all together. So yeah, do a fast forward and you guys can watch. So, got the poly shines in, cleaned all the flux residue from the back, completely clean with isopropyl alcohol, 99%. Love this metallic steel and black color, orange pots. I miss these, you know. Just listen to that. Sounds amazing. As compared to these sound so much cheaper and just feel cheaper, just made with such terrible materials, not fit for competitive shooters. So, let's get this back inside the controller. Alright, now that that's finished, we're going to put it back together. We're going to do everything that we did in reverse. I'll take it step by step, and I'll show you how to do it properly. Now hopefully you didn't throw out that duct tape that I showed you guys. Just put this back on right over here. Then the reflector shield. Then the adhesion foam. And finally, the lock. We're going to put the PCB back in its slot. Now we're going to put in the film chassis as we did take it out, but in reverse. And now for the touchpad ribbon cable. Then the battery chassis. Don't forget about the screw. And then the battery. Now, remember red? Red up, red down. Now that you've got that done, we're at the home stretch. Last part comes the back shell. And there we go. Got the 4 screws back in already. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Zero. Did a custom paint job on the touch bar, or the light bar, and also on the 4 screws. The 4 screws didn't end up so well, but it's whatever. I was gonna do it for the touchpad as well, but I had problems with it fitting in. If any of you guys do make custom touchpads, because I've looked online everywhere, I couldn't find any actual good touchpads that, you know, work like the OEMs. But if any of you guys do make custom touchpads that are like genuine and legit, let me know. I'd love to get in contact and maybe make a custom controller for you guys. And of course, the mechanical buttons. Haven't tried them out yet, so hopefully it's good. Whoa. This feels really good actually. Like the travel distance of the actual buttons, like there's 0 to none. Like they feel really good. Like it's like going from a membrane keyboard to like a mechanical one. Like it's really nice. Obviously it won't make you better, but you know, it's a really cool cosmetic type of thing you can do. The only thing I'm worried about is this D-pad right here. Reason being is for fighting games, this can drop inputs most likely because it doesn't have the resistance pad underneath. It can mess up with the diagonal inputs. So I don't know, but I'll let you guys know post editing and whatnot. But back to the main topic at hand, which are these sticks. So you may be thinking that these sticks are perfectly working, factory new, and ready to be used and abused. Well, not quite. Every joystick in a controller is tuned to the motherboard they were on, so installing new sticks will mean the dead zones are off center. In order to fix this, we've got to override the calibration with a new tune to the firmware and align the joysticks to its proper origin point. This is where our trusty PC will come into play. I'll be using Windows for this method since I believe most people watching this have a Windows running PC or a laptop already. But for the people that don't, you can use a Linux running machine such as a Cherry Pie or any open source compatible device for this script to work as well. But enough chit chat. Let's get on the PC and get these sticks calibrated, shall we? Alright, so on the PC, there are a few things we gotta do before we actually begin the calibration process. That's obviously the installation. So the first one is obviously the script itself. So I'll leave all these links in the description below. You guys could just copy this into your URL. So the script is on GitHub. Just go on GitHub, go to code over here, and then just download a zip. Extract the files anywhere you want to. It doesn't really matter as long as you have it extracted. I usually just put it in my downloads folder. Then we're going to need Zadig, which is a driver converter. We're going to need to convert this from HidUSB to LIBUSB. That makes it so that the script actually recognizes this controller, and we can make changes to it. It basically makes it open, or open access, so we can actually make changes to it. Then obviously to run the script, we're going to need Python. So just download Python. I actually did a fresh install of Windows because I was actually running into issues with my other my SSD. I had bad sectors on HDD, so I had to super clone it. So I had to install I had to do a fresh install of Windows. So I'm just gonna go on thing. I believe I already installed it. Yeah, there we go. So now this is very important for customized installation. You want to click this and make sure these two are enabled. Admin privileges, which is that's kind of default. You should have this on. And then add Python exe to path, which is also very important. customize installation, make sure this is also on. This is Python packages. Then this, Python for all users. These two won't matter too much. Just make sure you check the ones I checked on my customize installation, and then just click OK, and it's going to install. Now it can take a while, it just depends on what type of PC you have, your RAM, your SSD, or your HDD, SSD, etc, etc. So just wait a little bit, probably just skip this or fast forward. Alright, now that that's done, setup was successful, I'm going to close out of this, and then the first thing you should do is actually update your packages from Python, just in case. So just go on command prompt, make sure you run it as administrator. If you don't know how to do that, I'll just show you real quick. On file manager right here, or just right click. You can use it as run as administrator, but just open the file location, and then properties, and then advanced, run as administrator. You should just keep this on for this, and PowerShell is just, you know, kind of the norm. It's just much better than just clicking or right clicking all the time. So just go on this, and then I'll leave these in the description as well. Just copy these and paste this into your command prompt. It's kind of good practice just to do. There we go. Now most of those were already installed because it's on the latest version, but it's whatever. Now obviously the next thing we're gonna do is convert our controller to LIBUSB. So wireless controller. Now I believe I've already done this, right? Let me check. Device manager. Yes, I've already done this. So basically what you want to do is interface 0 and interface 3. So wireless controller interface 0 and 3. These are the two you want to mainly focus on because these are actually, you know, the controller. Interface 0 I believe is USB audio, which is the I believe it's the speaker, and then 3 is the actual controller itself, or the PCB. So you want to make sure you convert it to LIBUSB 132, and when you do that, it'll take a while. So if it is taking a long time, what you can do is just go on Task Manager, and then just end the task. But before you do that, go on Device Manager and check if the drivers are already installed. If it already shows it's installed, then you could just go on this and hit delete, and it'll just end the task. It'll say the driver wasn't installed, but as long as you see it here, then it's been installed. So we're going to close out of this in Task Manager, and now we're going to actually start the actual calibration process. Now, actually, before we do that, let's go on Gamepad Tester, and this is very important to do. Go on Gamepad Tester. Obviously, you can see it has drift, right? Well, not really drift, but just miscentering, if anything. So this is over here, and this is down here. Now, it's very important that you actually remember where the position is. Now, you can take a picture, or you can take a video of where it is, or you can do it just by memory. But that's only necessary if you're doing it manually. Now, I gotta also explain this for the script as well. So there are two ways of doing this, or centering it. Now this works, I believe, from controller to controller. It just matters about which, I guess it's just manufacturing of controllers, but it depends if you get lucky or not. So if you get lucky, you can do the automatic process, which is you do circles like this on the script, and then you just sample it with one circle, sample, and then you apply it, which is W. Then obviously for this it's the same thing. But if that doesn't work and you're still getting misalignment to the center, you can do it manually. And what manually is you bring it all the way to the center, which is right here. You hit S or sample, and then you apply it. Now the manual method is very tricky, and it could be very, you know, like it could be very like it just kind of matters about luck. So just be patient. If it doesn't work, just do it again, you know, and just run the routine over and over. Now, this is also another thing is if as you see, I already have it on LibUSB, or converted to LibUSB, but Gamepad Tester is still seeing it as Dualshock 4. Now, you do not want to unplug your controller or restart the website. If you do this, it won't show up. Now, if it doesn't work for you, and like if you already converted to LIBUSB and it just won't show up, what you can do is go on Gamepad Tester on your phone and use one of these, like a USB-C to USB-A, or the iPhone thing to USB-A. But what you also can do is go on your PS4 or PS5 and test it in game, which I would say is probably the best option. But for me, I feel like it happens from PC to PC. So for this, it still shows up. Now you don't want to unplug it or restart the website. It's very important. So now you want to open a PowerShell. We're going to set the location of where the actual script is. So our script is in our downloads folder, DS4 Tools Master, and we're going to copy this. And what this basically does is PowerShell is going to look into this folder. So let's copy this, and then we're going to put set location, Control V, and now PowerShell is looking into this folder. Now we just have to make it run this file, CALIBRATION.txt. Now I usually just do this because it's just faster. So copy paste, and there we go. We're in the menu of the actual calibration tool. Now, before we actually do anything, we're gonna make the controller open to changes. So we're gonna copy this. Flash mirror status is 0. Now it's important that you have it set at 0 and not 1. 1 is closing it off. 0 is opening it. So press V or Control V. Didn't work for some reason. There we go. Now it's at 0, and now we're just gonna run this again. And now comes the actual part of the calibration tool, calibrating. So basically, I've already done this. Like, I've already tried to experiment with this controller to see if it's manual or if it works manually or automatic, or if it works automatically, or if it's a manual, type of thing. And this is automatic, so I could just basically do the circles and then just sample it, and it'll be very easy. Now, if it's manual, as I said, just take your time. Don't rush it. One important thing is to look at the numbers, mainly your final sample or your sample 3, because it's best to sample twice. Sample twice or more before applying. Yeah, sample twice or more before applying the actual thing to your sticks. That's very important, as if you just apply it just like that, most chances it won't work. Now, I've also noticed if you sample it too much, that also won't work. So just sample it twice. I'm just going to do that now. So as you can see, unfortunately this isn't live, but I could just do it from this. So you see how it's like this. Now we're going to press 1, starting analog sensor calibration. Now you just want to, it's going to be kind of hard to do this with a controller or one hand. So we're going to do 1 rotation, another, or actually, no, we're just going to apply it. There we go. And this one worked. For some reason, this one worked as well. I don't know why. That's very weird. So we're just going to do it for the other one because it's good practice to just do it for both. So and then apply 0.8. I don't think that worked. No, just a little bit. Just a little bit off. So let's do it again. No, still a little bit. I think I'm doing it wrong. Not even I can do it properly. It's not working for some reason. Let's see. Gotta maybe keep it there. Nope. Let's try it again. As I said, this can take a while. Still a little bit up there. Let's try doing it without moving it. That's very weird. That works by itself. Huh. Yeah, I've been, because I've only done it manually. This is my first time doing it the automatic method. Because the other controllers I've used I've always had to do them manually, so this is very interesting. It didn't take me that long to do. Yeah, so as I said, it just kind of matters if you can do it automatically or manually. I don't know if maybe it's a certain PCB or like certain parts manufacturing, but that's very interesting. I never knew that. The more you know. But, or did not mean to do that. So now that you've done that, we're gonna actually apply it onto the actual controller itself. So the calibration is finished. Now we can test the circularity, see how good it is. Whew. Yeah, that is really good. Wow. Below 5. That just goes to show you how good favor union sticks are. That is amazing. Below 5. Well, it's going to go up to 5. 4.9 maybe? Come on. Aw, 5. 5? 5.3. That's still really good though. Below 6 or 7 is like really good. 4.9 on the left stick is amazing. Obviously the right stick matters the most. Now, testing your circularity doesn't really matter in game, as it won't really do much as long as it's like not too much. Like I would say 10 would be like where you start to see the issues in game. But 5.4, it just goes to show you, 4.9 and 5.5 just goes to show you how good favor union sticks are, or polyshine sticks are compared to Alps. Like most Alps that I've tried with the circularity, most of them go up to 7 or 8. So like statistically, it just shows favor union sticks are like better. Like look at that, like just amazing. Let me just test everything else, see if it works. Yep, there we go. Now we're basically finished with the calibration. All we have to do is just flash the firmware. So copy that, and then basically instead of putting it to 0, we're gonna put it to 1. So set it to 1. Didn't work. And there we go. Basically we're finished. So you can just close out your PowerShell, close out a notepad, or my notepad, or my notes, close out a Zeta, all this, and you're basically finished at this point. You can unplug it whenever you want to. Or actually, it's best if you are, it's also another thing, if you are playing on PC, before you do that, go on Device Manager and uninstall these. Because then when you unplug it and plug it back in, your controller won't be recognized by your PC until you actually remove it as LIBUSB and you replug it back in. It'll automatically recognize the controller and it'll just work automatically. So just make sure you do that if you are playing on PC or you're going to use the controller on that specific PC or computer. So just make sure you do that, and we can just close out of this and we're basically finished.
Well, congratulations. You've now fixed yourself a controller that was unusable prior into something great and durable in the long run. But don't just celebrate yet. What would a controller be if it didn't work on the console it was meant to be played on? So I present to you the last and final step. Just to plug it into your PS5 and hope everything goes as planned. Can only hope for the best. So good luck and have fun.
Hey there, hope you guys enjoyed the video. It took me a while to make as I've been busy with a few other things here and there, but glad I got it finished by the end of this month, as I've been at it since November of last year, and now it's February. And for what it's worth, it's actually snowing down here in New York as I'm making this video and finishing everything up. But back on topic, the reason behind making this is because I wanted to show people that fixing stick drift on certain types of controllers, such as controllers that have calibration tuning made for them, isn't really all that hard as people deem it to be. The stick drift phenomenon has been an issue since the 360 days or the PlayStation 2 days, and well, back then we didn't have access to calibration tuning software or high quality parts. And well, with us in the future now, scary as it is, we have so many great things we can utilize to our advantage. For an example, the PlayStation 4 script that I used in this video, made by these guys. Or distributors of high quality sticks, like them. Without people like these, the next video about fixing stick drift, or the next video after or after that, would not exist. So I'm grateful to them and would highly recommend showing your support to them any way possible. Oh yeah, and a bit of a side note, if you are replacing sticks on a controller that doesn't have calibration tuning software made for it, do not replace those sticks. Reason being is because you have no way of actually censoring it once you put in the new sticks. So it will forever have stick drift on it. I learned my lesson replacing an old Xbox controller with new sticks, not knowing it didn't have a tuning software made for it. So, couldn't do much. Unfortunately, the only controllers that have such a thing are the PlayStation 4 controller, obviously, Switch Pro controller, Joy-Cons, or any sort of controller that is meant to be used on the Switch. And I believe the GameCube controller, but correct me if I'm wrong, as I'm not too sure about that. Now, a few other things I also want to touch up on, which is the mod, specifically the mechanical buttons. If you are a claw player or have arthritis, I would not recommend doing this mod. Because from my experience, as a person that plays claw, my fingers have actually started to hurt, specifically my index finger. It could probably be because of the pressure you need to put on the buttons itself, as they are a lot more harder than the actual OEM controllers, which you can actually feel if you actually do the mod. I'm obviously saying this afterwards, you know, just a heads up reminder, if you are a claw player, don't do this. And also, let's talk cut content. Originally, this video was going to feature another mod on the controller, which is a USB-C port mod made by a really cool friend of mine named Marius Hire, which if you don't know who he is, he makes insanely cool findings and custom mods of the Dualshock 4 and had the brilliant idea to showcase it in this video. Unfortunately, I ran into a few issues getting my hands on one of the boards, since he lives across the whole world, so getting my hands on one was not an easy task. But maybe one day. One day. But that's not all though. I've also discussed some of his newer projects upcoming, which includes a Hall effect joystick that are as accurate as the Faber Unions that I showcased in the video, as well as a custom DualShock 4 motherboard that has 0 to 1 millisecond latency when plugged in to your console. Keyword being console. So if you guys would like to see some prototypes in action, let me know. I'm sure you wouldn't mind letting me showcase it in a future project, but I am getting ahead of myself. Now you've already seen the title of the video, plus Vigor Anniversary Project, and you may be wondering what that is. Well, let me explain. So a few months back, the new and great season of Vigor came out and introduced shootout leaderboards. Shootout is basically free-for-all in Call of Duty. And well, I've already been playing a shit ton of shootout before the leaderboards, racking up to 800, 900 shootout crates, which are basically wins. So with the release of the leaderboards, I decided to grind the ever-living shit out of it, and well, climb to number 2 in the world. Definitely not the dumbest thing I've done on a great and lively game, but it's whatever. So I ended up making a montage with some clips along the grind, as well as some of my older clips from way back when. And with said older clips, I mentioned prior in the video that I had to clone a hard drive. Those video clips are on that hard drive, and I managed to get all those video clips off of it, so that's nice. And I may or may not have cried a little bit watching some of the old clips back, but hey, what can I say? Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the dual project that I did. The Vigor Anniversary project didn't take me as long to do as the Stick Drift project. This thing took me so long to do, and it's my first time doing it, so, you know, hopefully it's good. For my first time, I guess I did good, but I obviously did the first ever, I would say, Vigor montage. Now, I may do a Vigor series for the actual game, but I'm keeping that secret, classified information, right? Now I should be wrapping things up and all, as I've got a video to edit. So leave a like if you guys enjoyed, dislike if you didn't. Leave a comment if you guys have any sort of questions. I'll try to answer most of them to the best of my ability. Subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys later. This is 013, signing off. Later, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess there's no way to settle this peacefully.
En route to combat zone.
Yo, I'm fucking crazy, bro.
Force yourself.
Oh, I died.
Shit, from where?
I don't even know, dude. He's right behind you, bro. Another one looking at you. Shit, dude. Yeah, you got both of them? Oh no, let's not just you wanna. Dude, you are insane. The other one right behind that fence. Yeah, that's the dude that killed me. Oh my god, dude, you're insane.
Dead. Right in front of me. Dead.
Fuck, he got me. Oh, that's ghetto. Oh my fucking god, dude, you're fucking crazy. Cracked out. I don't know how the fuck you do it, man. You fucking made Ghetto look like a noob there. Jesus Christ.
I'm going hard, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Push this guy.
Double kill. Killing spree. 10 seconds remaining.
Oh, there's another one. Yeah, there is. Batter them all. That's it. There must be cleared lobby.
Think so.
Check
Yeah, I'm pop portable.
I
Yeah,
think
no
it
more.
is, right? Yeah. Batter them all.